Morning, day 2 in Phang, and today I'm gonna start my day off with some breakfast. I'm gonna eat some simple noodles and I'm gonna head out to source for some of my products. So right now I'm in the house of Achan Bed, and this is the samnak behind me. So there's still quite a few stuff left from Achan Bed, even though he has left us for quite a number of years. And you can see that these are some of the stuff available, like photos, and this is some of the stuff that I'm getting today. These are actually bamboo sheets with the kathas, the mantras that sometimes they read or they use it for like material. These are the payans that they wear sometimes for ceremony, and I was joking that I should get it to wear in the airport, but no, I think it's just a joke. And these are the yarns that they use to make like hand printed payans, sort of like these stuff. So that's what they use to actually make like cloth yarns like this. It's kind of like a printed on or pressed on. Yeah, these are some of the other ones that they use. And these are some stuff available for you guys to rent if you ever come here. And if you move on, these are the stuff, the powders that Achan uses to make his items, his holy items. You can see a photo of Lombok Kueh here. And then I'm not so sure who that is. And generally this is the in-house like shrine, and of course you get all the photo frames of all the ceremonies, and you can see several notable monks there as well. And yeah, that's basically the in-house shrine of Achan Bed. Not too much available here, so there's another shrine outside which I might go visit once I leave the in-house shrine. Meantime, I'm just going to make some donations and check back with you guys when I go out. So this is the outside of Achan Bed's house, and this is the samnak or the shrine of Achan Bed, and this is where he carries out all his ceremonies. So let's take a look. My first time in as well. So there's some photos outside. So I think it's Achan Chum. So Panyan on the door. And this is it. Let's go in and see. Oh, it's pretty tight, the space. And I think he specially built this place for the purpose of doing ceremonies. So there's some stuff here which is made by his disciples. So these are not made by him, but yep, made by his disciples. And yeah, quite a fair few of these amulets here. They're also made by his disciples. Yep. So these are not from Achan Bed. So if you see these, it's actually made by his disciples. Right, he's got a whole storage of them. Okay, so let's take a look at the shrine. So you can see it's pretty extensive with the holy strings, or what we call saisin, on the top. There's a big, huge payan that blesses everything with barmi. So as mentioned, barmi is something that's very, very important in Thai occult or occult practices. So Achan Bed was obviously Hindu as well, like myself. So you can see this is a rare chance for you guys to take a look, right? So you have of course Kali, right? And she's sitting on all the demons. Well, she won over all the good over evil. And let's take a look, see if I can get the light here. So these are many Hindu deities. You can see all the different Hindu deities from Hinduism. Okay, again you can see here more Hindu icons. This one is of Tibetan origin, but it's also Hindu related. And more over here as well. Okay, this is the Lord Shiva area. And you can see the Trusla at the side. You can see more Hindu influences. Okay, so here's lembok kueh, he's got lembu soup, some ajans that I don't know. Okay, but this is one of his masters when he was younger. Okay, another one here, another one here. You can see he also worships Bobo Ong or Bomi-on. He's Boming-on. You can see some of the deities here that I'm not too sure. It could be a yak, it could be a Taoist one. Okay, many of the different deities, even Qigong is here. Right, so it's a Chinese Lesi. Okay, you can see different pan crews. So he has actually, you know, have many masters. I think this is a Champlan Bunyan. Okay, more photos of him. So very interesting indeed. So let me just also share a little bit about these pan crews with you guys. So if you look at those bamboo trays, basically he has quite a few. Each tray is actually used to get into a lineage, right? So if you were to learn Wicha from any masters, one of the first things you have to do is you have to pan crew, which is to get into the lineage, right? And therefore he has quite a few, and you got to change the flowers every year. I mean, of course, that's when he was alive, right? And yeah, so this is the little samnak or shrine of Achanbit, and hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm right now going to my next stop, but what an experience this has been for me and probably for you guys as well. Okay, so now this is the second stop of the day. So if you realize this land behind me, if it looks vaguely familiar to you, that's because Paul Salatan's house used to be behind. Of course, it's all made of wood, and by now, after 6 years of not coming here, it has all been cleared and they are doing like a plantation already. However, the villagers here, which are mostly descendants of Paul Salatan anyway, because he has so many wives, they have actually set up a shrine for Paul Salatan. So if anyone misses him, they can come here and actually come in to venerate Paul Salatan. But yep, this is the base of one of the hills. So you can see the entire village here. This land is actually all free, given to the Thai Yai people. Basically, they are refugees that come from Burma about 60-70 years ago. And during the reign of King number 9, King Rama the 9th, he actually set out quite a fair bit of agriculture land for the refugees. And in fact, the second and third generation of refugees, they are actually given Thai nationality, right? So yep, this is a shrine of one of the shamans of this village, and yeah, widely venerated around the region, including Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, etc. Okay, at the second location now, this is actually Paul Salatan's son's shrine or samnak, and you can see here they have a ghost shrine of a lady that probably passed away in not so natural causes. So they have set up a small shrine here, and it's pretty common in Thailand to set up shrines like this, especially in rural Thailand and parts of Thailand where there are actually the hill tribe people, because a lot of them are still they still practice animism, which is which is basically religion that is way older than the modern faiths that we have in the world right now. So this is like a workshop area here. So what they do is they would make the idols that they put in temples. They will also handmade amulets and stuff that actually have a small business relating to this, the items that they produce. So you can see everything is all made by hand, and it is a very old school place. So this is where they actually do the melting of certain metals. So they do all the forging here as well. Some of the materials include like bronze, iron, and sometimes they even use like ghostly materials such as corpse coins, and they will actually melt it here. Very agriculture place, so you can see they cultivate lots of their own flowers and vegetables. There's him over there. He's I think having a meal. It's midday right now, and yeah, I'm just walking around having a little bit of a self tour of the second shaman that I'm visiting today, or the second shaman's residence that I'm meeting today. So this is again something that most tourists will not come and see. They have a little river running at the back with a little pump, with a little generator that pumps fresh water supplies. And let me just go up and check if I can visit the shrine up there. So let's take a look. Okay, so we're at the shrine right now, and this is the room that he sleeps in, Paul Selatan's son. His name is Paul Nanser, and he sleeps in here, this little room. So as compared to Paul Selatan, I think the living conditions now are definitely better because of the economic success of Paul Selatan. And this is the shrine where he practices meditation, and of course he also meets his disciples here. And I guess he does all his blessings, and if he's making any amulets, he does all the consecration here as well. So let's go in and take a look. So again, as you can see, he has lots of kayans, and basically these are all for metta and sane, which is attraction and congeniality. And there are some more down here as well. But as you move on and see over on this end, you can see that these down here are all for barami. Alright, so again, right, I have to highlight that if you want to have strong congeniality and whatsoever, you definitely have to have the barami aspect as well, which is the yang energy of this particular religion, animism. So yeah, it's a pretty simple setup compared to the previous one that I just left, but nonetheless it does its job. And yeah, you can see life here is very slow. The pace of life is very slow. 1 hour seems like an entire day. And let's check in if I have anything to obtain from this premises, and then I shall move on to the next stop.
This is Kun Pan. This is Yoni.
This isของพ่อสั่งใช่ไหม? Oh. Okay, so I just got some information. There are like these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jars behind me, and they are actually the jars that contain spirits of like 5 ladies. And of course this is where they do all the chanting and carry out all the ceremonies. So as you guys can see, some occult materials here, some materials for casting spells, more materials here. So yep, so this is the modern day necromancer, right? So hope that's kind of interesting for you guys. And he's examining another artifact, and let's take a look at this. Oh my god. So let me just see if I can get anything here, and I will just bring it back to Singapore for my customers and see if they want it. Okay, just done with shaman number 2. So more shaman and holy man hunting today. Okay, so I have a chance to make my own Kun Pen. ก็กดเหรอ?
กด
แล้วก็ต้องปั้นเนาะ
กดได้ยังทดลองเนาะ
Okay, so I've just made my own amulet, and this white color piece is actually a piece of bone ash. So okay, that was very fun. Okay, so very interesting. Came at the right time because Achan is actually pressing some of his own amulets, and I got the luck to press one of my own.
ออกมาเป็นอย่างนี้
ครับ
อันนี้ก็จะเป็นผง108พุทธคุณเมตตาอันนั้นทุกอย่างก็รวมอยู่ที่นี่
Okay, so he was just explaining to me that these are the various herbs and ingredients that they mix in, and some of the powders are actually bone ashes that they get from various temples, and it helps with like wealth and congeniality and attraction and stuff like that. So he has a whole bottle of like little bone bits which they actually input into the อันนี้ทำอะไรลูกอมเหรอ Okay, he's asking me to try again because apparently the first one was a failure.
อันนี้จะเล็กหน่อยเคาะๆหน่อยแล้วก็นี่นะอันนี้ให้ดูก่อนเนาะครับปาดออกแล้วก็ใส่กระดูกรอบๆหมุน
สวยดีนะ Okay, and there we have it. Small pim, mini pim of an amulet. Okay, okay, it's my turn again. Okay.
พอ
Okay, พอยัง
พอเอาทีละครึ่ง
กลับไปทำเอง
โอ้ยเป็นไรเหนียวจะออกแล้วใจเย็นช้าโอ้สวย
Okay,
โอ้
and
สวยมาก
this is my second piece. Wow, สวยดีเนาะ That was super interesting. Never thought I would get this experience.
จะรู้แต่เอากระดูกนะหักตรงนี้ถ้าปั้นหนึ่งคนหนึ่งชิ้น
So you guys just saw the young monk making the skull beads, and this is the end product. This is how it will look like. So they make it into like a bracelet, like this. I really don't know the purpose of this, but I think it's supposed to give 6 cents or something. But normally it just comes in like a single piece, like this. But for some reason this particular temple strung it into like a bracelet of sorts. Okay, I'm just gonna walk around and see what else they have. So come, join me. Okay, so as you guys can see right here, they are making these little figurines of little babies. Okay, so in the Buddhist religion, they believe in being like they believe in getting good karma. So sometimes when babies get aborted or when they die of a tragic death at a young age, the monks would help them gather karma so that they can reincarnate. And one of the ways they do that is that they make them into little statues like this, so they can help their owners with their daily tasks and to look after the house or the shops or their small businesses, and basically obtain good karma so that one day they can also be reincarnated. So this is the raw product, and you can see on the back there is a piece here that is already painted in a gold color, so you can see. And this is made of bone ash as well, so you can see it's very similar to the one from Nakhon Pathom, Lamopun, right? He uses the same material as well. And this is the bones, the bone ash or the bone powder that they use to make the little statues, right? So these are probably from like little kids that actually pass on due to tragic circumstances. And we have here more skulls that are completed. As you can see, there's a huge one here. This one is more for like 6 cents, and they believe it brings like lottery luck and wealth. This little figure here, rather it's not little, it's pretty big. Okay, is the figurine of a 4 years and 5 eyes monkey. Yeah, this figure is a deity from the north. It's called the Sihu Hata, and yeah, they believe that this particular deity brings wealth as well, and also they believe it's an incarnation of Lord Indra, right, from the Hindu faith. So there's a lot of interfaith mingling between Hinduism, animism and Buddhism in Thailand because of the geographical location. I'm actually right now in Mae Ai province, and it's actually very near Mae Sai, which is just bordering Myanmar. So there's a large exchange of culture and religion in this region of Thailand, right? So yep, another shrine down here, and this is actually Lord Indra, right? Lord Indra is you know, sitting here, and then these are the Siuhata figurines right here, as you can see. So they believe that the Siuhata consumes burning charcoal, which it's doing here, and eventually the Siuhata will will excrete gold, okay, solid gold. So they have various sizes, small, medium, and super large. And yeah, and this is the Payanak, right? It's also a deity from the Hindu faith. So again, there's a lot of interfaith, I don't know what you call it, like just a mix of different faiths, yeah. Okay, so they have more little baby figurines here. They have, of course, the Palakit, which looks like the male genitalia. Okay, so this particular one you will also see in Japan, and of course this is one of the avatars of Lord Shiva. It represents the male virility or the male strength. Okay, these are what we call Pepe Yanton, another form of deity which is quite popular. And wow, this temple has quite a collection of old swords, old Lana swords. So these are typical of Lana warriors in the past when Myanmar and Thailand was at war. Okay, they would use swords like this probably about 1,200 years ago. And yeah, that's pretty much it. They have some Thai instruments, traditional northern Thai instruments hanging on the wall. I believe this would be the monks' quarters. Not sure if I can go in, but maybe let's take a look. I'm just gonna peep inside. Yep, it is a shrine. I think I can go in. So most times the seats are reserved for the monks. So if you ever visit a shrine like this, do not sit on the chairs that are on the side. It's a pretty interesting shrine. I'm going to take out my torchlight again. Okay, so this is a Ngan, which is a ghostly deity that is for attraction. Okay, there are some little baby statues here. Okay, these bottles are for Sangatan, right? Or to make merits to your deceased or to anyone you want. Okay, again, more statues. Okay, this is in the form of a Lengpo Pun Kumantong. So they actually copied this particular pimp from the south or the central Thailand. Okay, they have a huge statue over here. And this is probably where the monk earlier up front sits and does his consecrations and ceremonies. Okay, a lot more religious figures. Oh, these are the some more beads that they either give out or they let you rent at a low price. Here they have all sorts of offerings for some of the monks and the masters of yesteryear. Again, this is the Kankru, the one with a lot of leaves, the Kankru where the master outside would have paid his respects to from his masters, right? And then there's a big portrait of another old master on the top. So yeah, that's a short tour of a little temple shrine. And these are the water bottles that the villagers or the people around this area would come in the morning to actually donate to the temple. And if you are wondering why there are whiskey bottles and stuff, most of it is actually used for offerings, not for the monks to consume, obviously. And here we have more items, okay, for if anyone is interested to have a lucky charm or an amulet. Okay, these are some of the items that they have produced. Okay, so they have actually selected a fair few that they brought out, and I'm just gonna see if I'm gonna like get some and put them onto my e-shop in Singapore when I get back to Singapore. Okay, so that's a little tour of another shrine of this one's not a shaman, this one's a monk, but a monk who practices so-called witchcraft for lack of a better word. Okay, so within the temple grounds itself, okay, it's really lovely, right? So they actually do this to basically raise funds for the temples. Okay, so for those of you who are curious, why do monks need to make these charms to sell? It's because these charms, the funds that are gathered from these charms are often used to support charities. And they also, the temple actually runs a school, as you can see behind me. So a lot of the books and materials are also sponsored by the temple through donations from people like myself. And it's good to hear from the master that several other foreigners have come to the temple to obtain his items so that they can get the blessings for their people back home, right? And the temple gets enough donations to actually operate the place of worship as well as a place of education. So we're in the north right now, so obviously the venerable father in the north is this monk now here, and his name is Kruba Sivichai. So in the north, he's the venerable father for people residing in the north, right? Very different than people in the central Thailand or in Bangkok. And this is a typical of a northern Thai temple. If you go to 100 Thai temples in the north, most of them will look like this, right? With the Payanak or the Naga out in the front. Okay, the presiding deity of the Mekong River, and this particular deity basically is pretty venerated all the way to Assam in India, northern India, in northeast India, right? So is it northeast? Yeah, northeast India. Okay, so there's a river that flows from the Southeast Asian region all the way to India, and people along this river venerate this particular deity here. If you see this snake-looking deity, it's called the Payanak or the Naga. Right, so yep, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go back there and select some amulets for me to bring home so that I can sell them and cover my trip. And yeah, probably if there's more places to hit today, I'll bring you guys along. Okay, as I head off to the next location, just want to let you guys take a look at the awesome views of the countryside here. I mean, it doesn't really get any better than this. It's the mountains in the backdrop, the open paddy fields all across, and basically it's a very relaxed environment. And yeah, I think traveling should be like this. Really enjoy the views, the experiences, and of course the people I meet are very special for this trip. And yeah, so happy to bring you guys along. So I don't know where my next stop is, but I'll take you guys along the way as well.